I've got 3 dogs, and so I'm going to create a little a doghouse in a meadow or something like that. So I'm going to create a bit of an environment. I'm going to have some very simple texturing and some very simple modeling. All right, so here we go. I'm going to create a plane there, and that's going to be the base of the doghouse. And let's turn on the move tool. Give it a little bit of thickness. Okay, so we're going to have that piece. And right away, I'm going to add a bevel. I'm going to go for 2 segments and 0.01. Start with that so we can see the edges. I'm going to copy that, Shift D. And I'm going to go into edit mode. And I'm going to rotate X 90. Let's pull that up. We're going to have the front there. I'm going to scale this in the X a little bit. And come down and hit 3 for face selection. Grab that face. And I'm going to pull it up so that it sort of intersects with that. And I'm going to create the height of the doghouse here. So come up a ways. Let's just rough it out first of all. So Shift D to copy that and bring that back here. Okay, so something like that. And then let's take this piece. Might be too wide versus how long it is. So let's adjust that. Let's scale this in the X a little bit. And take both of these, go into edit mode and scale those in the X. I'll do that kind of thing. Okay, let's take this piece now, Shift D, bring it up to make some kind of a roof. And we'll look from the front. Let's pull it over here so it's just past this Z line for now. Let's look from the front and let's rotate Y. Let's try 50. Pull that in and see what that's going to be like. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit big. So what we're going to do is going to come in here, grab this face, and I'm going to switch over to normal. And I'm going to push along here. I'm going to take this one. We'll leave that there. Okay, let's take this. Let's go back to global. And my 3D cursor is there. Let's set the origin to the 3D cursor. And click on mirror. Okay. Now, if funny stuff happens like that, you're going to go Control A, rotation and scale. Okay, there we go. Let's bring this a little closer. Okay, I'm going to bring it down. Just getting the rough idea of what I want. Okay, now I'm going to adjust these. Let's scale this in the X. I just want it under. I want this piece to overhang. I realize I didn't do both of them, so let's grab the other one too. Scale this in the X. So I got that kind of thing going on. Cool. Now I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to get rid of this one because we're just going to work on this one. And pull it up past. And we'll deal with that in a second. Yeah, I can go with that. Let's scale this in the X as well. That's good for the time being. Okay. Start making this look a little bit like wood. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I'll look from the front. And I'm going to go Control R. I'm going to roll my mouse up. And I want to simulate wood panels. Maybe that many. Like that. With those selected, okay, they go all the way around. With those selected, I'm going to go Control B, pull, and click, and bring up my this. And I'm going to choose 0.008. Let's try that. See if that's too wide. That's all right. Okay. With that done, I'm going to hit E to extrude, Alt S, and I'm going to pull down. Pull down a little ways, click, bring this up, and I'm going to choose 0.003. Let's try that. Is that not enough? That's not enough. Let's go for 5. Well, let's go for 8 as well. Let's have a look at that. It looks a little bit like wood paneling. Okay, so that's all right. So we need it only to go up to there. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to select it, go into edit mode and select it all, come up to mesh and choose bisect, and then come down to here and just left click and draw a line up. I'm just dragging with my mouse up past. Okay, so I got that. Come down to here, clear outer, and then finish that. That's okay. Let's do the same on the other side. So select it all, mesh, bisect. I'm going to draw a line. Now if I draw a line from the top, it'd be a little bit hard, so I'm going to draw it from the bottom along here, and it's looking weird. That's okay. Release, and then instead of clear outer, clear inner, and deselect clear outer. Okay, so we got that. We got a little piece there, but that's going to be covered up, so that's fine. Let's do that. Let's take this piece, Shift D. Let's bring it up. Now, actually, if I want this to look right, it's better if I don't do it that way. If I bring in a brand new plane, all right, bring that up. And then let's scale it down. So I'm uniformly scaling it down so it's a perfect square. Let's rotate X 90 and let's extrude it out like this. Grab this face like this. That's a bit big, but what we're going to do is look from the front. Let's rotate Y 45 so it's like a diamond. And then we could just scale it down like this and sort of push it down, and then we're going to scale it out again, scale this out in the Y, look from the front, and what I want is I want these pieces to be roughly in the middle of that, and I also don't want that to be too big, so I'm just going to pull it up. Let's see if I like that shape. It's not too bad. Let's put a bevel on that. 2 and 0.01 I think I had before. Okay, so that could do that. That could do that. Those overhang. Let's take this piece now and let's just copy it by eye back. Shift D, pull it back here to make the back. And I feel like these are slanted a bit much for my liking, but we'll see how it turns out. Let's take this piece, Shift D, rotate Y 90, and pull it out. We're going to make the walls. Let's bring it up. And let's scale this in the Y in. But just past there, I'm going to put some posts there as well. Start with that, and then in face selection, grab this top face and pull it down. And we'll get rid of that in a second. Let's just have a look at this. Yeah, okay. So now we'll go into edge selection, grab this edge here, and I'll just push it down so that that's underneath. That's okay like that. Okay, it's not quite long enough in the back, so I'm going to take that edge, or that face really, and pull it out just past. And again, it's made of wood, so it's not going to be perfect. Okay, so let's now make this into wood here. Let's go Shift H. Let's put edge loops here, roll it out, and make it look like wood. How many? Okay, that looks fine. Okay, we'll go Control B, and we'll pull, and we'll go, what do we have, 0.08 before. Let's see what that looks like. It's probably okay. And then E and Alt S, and then we're going to pull, and we're going to go for 0.08. Was that it? That's too much. 0.008. Let's see if that's enough. I'll go back into object mode. That looks probably okay. And something that we can do to improve these is to Shift Alt and click these inner faces. Shift Alt and click, that gets the faces all the way around. I'll do this for the front as well. And we'll do something with this stuff here. We're going to switch over to individual origins, and that's going to allow us to scale this in the Y individually. So I'm going to go SY, pull, so it's angled on the inside, and that'll make it look a little nicer. Now we can come back out here, and we can get rid of some of these faces. We don't have to get rid of every single one, but we can do that, and we can do these bottom ones. Get rid of that stuff. Okay, let's go Alt-H and bring stuff back. So let's do the same trick on the front here. Let's grab these faces here. We're still in individual origins. We'll have to remember to switch back later. Just those. Let's scale in the X, SX. Just pull it in. Make it look a little bit more nice. Okay, so we got that piece. 3D cursor, Shift C if you want to make sure it's right in the middle. Take this piece and let's mirror this over. Let's go Control A, rotation and scale. Oh, where is it? There. Let's don't forget to send that to the origin. There we go. Okay, let's do some work on this stuff here. Let's make this into wood. Actually, I might have liked the grain of this wood to go that way. I might switch that. Control B, pull. I'll try again. 0.0. In Alt S, pull. I still am in individual origins, but that shouldn't be a problem. I'll go for 0.08. And hopefully that's enough. Okay, let's go in and Shift Alt and click all these here on face selection. There we go. Still an individual. Yeah, the scale in the Y. SY. Okay, now I have been thinking that I prefer it to go this way, so let's rotate X 90 and I angled this, so we're gonna fix that. So let's go into wireframe and 1 for vertex, and let's do this, and I can actually scale Y0. That's okay, and just pull it into here. Let's grab all of these and pull them into this back piece. Just have a look at that, see if it's going okay. I might want to actually squish this down and have slightly different thicknesses, scale in the Z. The planks will be a little closer together. And I think that's looking okay. So what I'll do here is, let me think. I think I'll grab these vertices and these ones and delete them. And delete those vertices and Control L and delete these vertices. Oh, geez. All right, let's use the bisect. From the front, mesh, bisect, come down here. Let's just do it this way. And let's choose inner. Done like that. I have to make sure actually that these are inside the posts there. We have to touch that up a bit, we'll see. Okay, and let's do the same for bottom. Select it all, mesh, bisect, and I'll just come along the bottom here. Okay. Let's take this piece here to make some posts, Shift D, and let's see, let's grab this bottom face here and just lengthen it out real big, and then just S to scale. Scale this in Z, and start positioning this in the corner. Okay, let's scale this in the Y. A bit more like a post like that. Take this. So I just want to imagine that this is going to go into the ground here like this, not too high. And this piece is going to come up like that. Okay, grab this edge here and pull it down. I could get rid of that face too if I wanted to. So you would be there, and then let's take this and Control A, rotation and scale, just in case we had to. Let's set the origin to the 3D. No, let's set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror. Cool. And then I'm just going to take these, Shift D, drag them back. I might scale this longer. And this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to cut a hole for the dog to go in. And the way I'm going to do that is look from the front, Shift A, mesh, circle, and I'm going to use 24 vertices. Pull it out, 1 to look at the vertices, rotate X 90, scale it down a bit, bring it back, look from the front, and I'll scale it. And imagine we're going to make a hole. And what we'll do is we'll box select all those vertices there and delete them. So I have just these horizontal ones. Select them, E to extrude, and pull them down into the floor. And imagine that's a door. Does that look right? Or do I need to be small, bigger, smaller? Either way. Let's take these two faces, F to make face, and select the whole thing. Okay, F to make a face there on that whole thing. E to extrude, pull it back a ways, and then select the whole thing and push it through that wood right there. Now let's take these sides and H to hide them. Note that that goes all the way through. Okay, now, does that look like a doghouse? Well, let's give it a try. I'm going to do a Boolean, so select this and go Boolean. I'm going to move it above the bevel. Difference, and with the eyedropper, choose that and hit apply. Take this piece and let's just move it out. Let's not delete it. All right, so I've cut a doorway in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this now. Let's take this piece and scale this in the Y. It's going to come back right into here. All right. And what we'll do is in face selection number 3, select that face and inset I to make a little rounded part there. And then Control E, bridge edge loops. Like that. Now let's take it out. And we're going to delete these bottom faces. So hold down Shift and select them. And the back one too. X, not vertices, X faces. And now because they're angled, we can fix that easily. Just go into wireframe and box select and vertex mode, that B box select that. And let's SZ0 and pull them down a bit if we want. Let's go back into solid view and select it all and pull it back in. I might scale this in the Y a little bit. It doesn't need to be that thick. We just want it to cover the inside and the outside there. Let's go Alt H and bring those side panels back. And on this, let's just Shift H and let's we're going to do a bit of beveling here. 2 for edge selection. Select all these sharp edges. Holding Shift and Alt, click all 4 of those, and let's go Control B and pull and roll my mouse up 1 or 2. I'll go for 2. Deselect and Control A or Control 1 and shade smooth. And put our subdivision surface on that. Alt H, bring it back, and this is what we have. Okay, so there's our little doghouse. Looks slightly better. We can delete these faces because they'll go in the ground. No, that's not what we want to do. Yeah, it's okay. That overhang. Let's start to see how she looks with the cavity shader. Maybe are those two? Maybe it's too high off the ground for Rove or whatever. So let's select those edges and pull it up. Just to gently rest on the ground. Okay. Yeah, let's leave this as a solid piece. So there's our doghouse. And if we wanted to make a little window, we certainly could. We could take this piece, Shift D, and pull it out. Select it all and just S to scale it. We could rotate Y 90, and we could scale this in the X, like that. We'll scale it again. And basically we just want to push it through here. Make sure it goes all the way through. And also not to have it right on one of these lines or in the middle. So let me scale it in the Y. It's just a square window here. It goes all the way through. Okay, so select this piece and go Boolean. I'm going to move it above the mirror and move it above the bevel as well. Make sure it's on difference. With the eyedropper, select that. Let's hit apply. Let's take this and just hide it for now. And you'll note we've got a hole through. That's fine. Let's bring it back and let's take this and select this face and the back face, and we'll inset. I to inset. Not too much, just like that. Control E, bridge edge loops. And let's select this and scale this in the X. It's a bit too thick. Just poking through. Okay, we'll have that. And we can try a few things here. We can set this to that. We can throw in maybe an edge loop to make it a little less round. And we have a window, and if we wanted to make like a little bar on it or something, we could select that face, Shift D. Let's scale this in the X so it's a little narrower. E to extrude. All right, and it's still attached. Control plus, we'll scale this into Z, so make sure it goes through. I'm actually going to take it out and delete these faces, X faces, and then select a piece, Control L, and just push it back in. Maybe it doesn't have to be that high. And then it's up to you. You could just look from the side, and there's the, you could just Shift D, copy it by hand, and do something like that. Just to give it a bit more something. Is that okay like that? Are they too far back? So I'm going to take both of these, this piece and the, I guess it's all one piece, so Shift H to isolate just that. Yeah, maybe they pushed them wrong. Control L, and we'll center these up. I suppose if we wanted to, we could Shift D and rotate X 90, and we could scale in the Y. We could have that, but I'll select that piece and Control L. You know what? I'm going to delete those faces and just make this one piece. Pull that out to here, and I'll Control L, and let's scale this in the X so it's just in the middle of those pieces. Alt H, and we'd have that. I might actually go for 2. Okay, and then I can mirror that to the other side if I so desire, and I do desire so. All right, so I'll take this piece and set origin to the 3D cursor and mirror. How she look? So I'm just thinking about these and thinking they look a little bit too big, so I'm going to scale these in the Y and see if I like that. Maybe even in the X too. And just manipulate this stuff a bit. I think that looks a bit more reasonable. So let's take these and Shift D. There, cool. We can add some little bolts on this. Let's make a circle. Let's go with 18. Bring it out. Scale it right down. Period key to zoom in. E and S and grid fill. Shift Alt and click. Pull down. 2 for edge selection. Select and be to bevel. 1 bevel there. Shade smooth. Okay. Rotate X 90. Look from the side. G. Bring it in. About there. Period key to zoom in. Look from the front. Slide it over. S to scale. G. Somewhere maybe around there. Period key and just pull it in. Just like that. Oh. Maybe like that. That's fine. Okay, and Shift D, do another one down here. We can just copy these. That's fine. Okay, Shift D, pull them back, but rotate them. Rotate Z 180, and then try to get them to just go in. That's good enough. And now we have our, what looks like bolts. Just a little bit extra detail there. Okay, simple little thing for our dogs to sit in. Okay, we could try a different, I don't know what would look any good. It's probably nothing. Now, I have a feeling I have some polys flipped because the discoloration. So I'm going to select that. Let's just have a look at that. Select that. Alt N. Watch the color. Recalculate outside. So, in fact, just to be sure, what I could do is I hit A to select all. Go into edit mode. Select everything. Alt N. Recalculate outside. I think some of it, something had been flipped. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it looks like a doghouse or some little elf's house. It's still a little tall. Well, you could put a little sign on there for Rover, and that's our doghouse for now. And the idea would be to put it in a little bit of an environment, like a meadow, and I'll make some grass and stuff here. For it to sit in, and then we'll put a nice HDR image in behind that's a bit blurred, and we'll get that. Yeah, so that's coming up soon. Okay, see you next time.